If you're like me, you've probably been talking to friends and associates about all the change that's going on in the world. And for many of us, that is very challenging. And I'm curious what it's like for you, because the way that we respond to change is really important to everything that we do, how we make decisions, how we plan for the future, how comfortable we feel within our own body. And right now, we are in a cycle, Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, that is, it's bringing a mission to all of us that's really, really important. And it hasn't happened since 1934. And just to give you a context, in 1934, in America, we were just coming out of the Depression. People were feeling insecure about food and where they were going to live. And in Europe, it was just leading into World War II, and things were very unstable there. So when we think about ourselves in this moment and how we respond to change, it's really important to understand what we value on a deep level in a couple of ways. One, how do you feel secure? What do you need to feel secure? Do you need to sit at a table and have your food presented, in a very beautiful way for every meal, or you feel insecure? Or are you happy with some pasta and a can of Campbell's soup? Everybody's different. Where do you live and how do you want to live? And what is the baseline necessity for you? And that is not the same for everybody in terms of how they describe what is secure. So it's really important to explore what that means. And tied into security is what we value. So, what do you value and why do you value it? That is all being tested, and we're being encouraged in this cycle to just break out of habits. If you're used to doing certain things that connect to those questions that I just asked, and it's just a habit, you've never really evaluated why it's important to you, then this is giving you the opportunity for a review. And the review coincides with you taking responsibility for the gifts that you bring to groups, who you choose to align yourself with, and why. And those two things, what gives you a sense of security and how you take responsibility for your own unique personality, but really even more than that, like what you bring to groups, what you bring to other people, is really similar to what happened in 1934, because in 1934 there was a lot of fear around security. So people ended up getting aligned in groups that created problems for other people. It was driven by fear. So it's really important to understand what you need and have clarity around that, and also be clear about why you're involved with any groups and are your values aligned. At the same time, I don't want 1934 wasn't all negative either, because what happens when you focus on what you need to be secure and you're working from a place of an alignment, you become creative about setting up systems for the future. So this is another way of looking at it. Another piece of this cycle is when I say take responsibility for it, that's Saturn. You take responsibility and own what is yours, own your gifts, take responsibility for what you bring to others. And when Saturn's involved, if you do that, you get rewarded for it. If you kick back and you're like, hey man, like whatever happens, I'm just going to roll with it, you don't get rewarded for that, because then you're not taking responsibility for what you bring to a group. You're not really defining the reasons why you might be involved in a group. And it's also not connected to what you value. You can't really define what's important to you or what you bring to a group if you don't know what you value. So hopefully you're seeing the links there. So if you are interested in digging deeper into exploring this, it's a very important cycle. We have another year or so to go in this, and it is relevant for the next 30 years. So if you'd like to learn more about what you're setting in motion or what you've set in motion, go to the link below and reach out. I'd love to talk to you.